Swadika, good morning and welcome to Newsline. I'm Cholapansa Narula. Thank you very much for joining us. It's Wednesday, July 29th, and here are the news. In today's segment of Thailand Moves Forward, Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha, accompanied by his wife, led cabinet members to sign books offering their best wishes to His Royal Highness Crown Prince Maha Vajiralongkorn on the occasion of his 63rd birthday anniversary. The Prime Minister led his entourage to the Royal Household Bureau Pavilion in the Grand Palace at 8 a.m. yesterday to sign well-wish books. The Bureau of the Royal Household has arranged a space in the Grand Palace for government officials and members of the public to convey their birthday wishes to His Royal Highness the Crown Prince on this auspicious occasion. The pavilion is open for public signing from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. A large number of people, including members of the diplomatic corps, civil servants and members of the three armed forces and the police, were seen signing the books to show their loyalty and gratitude to the Crown Prince. Later in the evening, the Prime Minister chaired the special ceremony to celebrate His Royal Highness Prince Maha Vajiralongkorn's 63rd birthday anniversary. Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha was joined by his wife, Naraporn Chan-o-cha, and members of the cabinet and senior government officials, as well as their spouses, to perform the offering ceremony. The Prime Minister then led a candlelit ceremony at Sanam Luang in Bangkok to celebrate the birthday, which falls on July 28th of every year. Chiefs of staff and personnel of all the four armed forces, as well as medical doctors, nurses, officers from various ministries, students and members of the public also participated in the ceremony. Born on July 28, 1952, His Royal Highness the Crown Prince has carried out a great number of activities, both on behalf of His Majesty the King and on his own initiatives, to raise the welfare of Thai people and prosperity of the country. His Royal Highness had on several occasions piloted charity flights to raise funds for the purchase of medical equipment for hospitals in the three southernmost provinces. His Royal Highness often visited people affected by unrest in the south and has actively supported rehabilitation of people affected by natural disasters. The Prime Minister is inviting members of the public to join in a campaign that calls for the abstinence of alcohol consumption during the Buddhist Lent period. Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha on Tuesday joined the network of the anti-alcohol groups and the Culture Ministry in promoting the alcohol abstinence campaign, which is set to run its course throughout the 3-month Buddhist Lent period. Representatives from the handicapped and the youth also took part in the promotion of religious activities to celebrate His Royal Highness Prince Maha Vajiralongkorn's 63rd birthday anniversary on July 28th. They also helped campaign the Buddhism Promotion Week as the Asana Bucha and the Buddhist Lent Day are approaching. In addition, the Prime Minister made the candle offering for the Lent celebration that will take place in Ubon Ratchathani province this week. And the Thai Prime Minister is urging the public not to be overly concerned with the U.S.'s decision to keep Thailand on Tier 3 in its human trafficking report. The Prime Minister said Thailand is not going to respond to the report but will continue with its efforts to solve the problem. He asked everyone to remain calm as Thailand is already doing everything in its capacity to eradicate human trafficking. The U.S. Embassy, meanwhile, said it is well aware of the efforts the Thai government has made. However, Thailand remains on Tier 3 because the U.S. assessment was conducted during the first stage of human trafficking eradication in Thailand, and it reflects only the situation then. The American Embassy said it hoped the situation would continue to improve. General Prayut further added that the eradication efforts were not only to prevent anyone from falling victim to human traffickers, but also to preserve natural resources and raise the standards of the Thai fisheries industry. The Cabinet has resolved to maintain its free bus and train scheme for another 3 months as a way to help low-income commuters amid economic doldrums. According to Transport Minister Air Chief Marshal Prachin Chantong, the fare exemption on public buses and third-class trains, which was due to expire at the end of July, has been given another 3-month extension by the Cabinet. As a result, the long-standing measure will continue to be in effect from August 1st to October 31st, 2015, as proposed by the Ministry of Transport. Meanwhile, Deputy Government Spokesperson Major General Sansern Kaew stated that the further continuation of free train services will cover a total of 172 trains per day and require a state budget of 252 million baht. At the same time, there will be 800 free buses operating on 73 routes each day under a budget of 871 million baht. Major General Sansern cited the Prime Minister as saying that the fare exemption measure is intended to serve certain groups of people who are truly in need of the government's support, such as students and low-income earners. The unfavorable economic condition was raised as the main reason behind the Cabinet's decision to keep the measure in place. Meanwhile, Major General Wirachon Sukhontapatipak revealed that the Cabinet had approved the protocol amending the Marrakesh Agreement that establishes the World Trade Organization.
Turning to international trade matters, the Thai government today accepted the recent protocol amending the Marrakesh Agreement establishing the World Trade Organization. The amendment covers the issue of trade facilitation in Annex 1 of the agreement. The Trade Facilitation Agreement was the first newly established agreement adopted by all members since the foundation of WTO. Objectives of the Trade Facilitation Agreement are to expedite the movement, release, and clearance of goods, and to enhance transparency of trade-related procedures. Moreover, the protocol is expected to help developing countries to promote trade and investment by reducing trade transaction costs, as well as to prevent illegal import and to improve the collection of the custom duties. Finally, as Thailand is the world's top producer of rice, the Cabinet today approved Thailand's contributing budget to the International Rice Research Institute, or IRRI. The IRRI is the world's leading research organization dedicated to reducing poverty and hunger through rice science, improving the health and welfare of rice farmers and consumers, and protecting the rice-growing environment for the future generation. The IRRI is an independent, non-profit research and educational institute founded in 1960.
Let's take a look at the National Reform Council now. The NRC has approved its Responsible Committee's Healthcare Reform Report. The report presented by the NRC Committee on Public Health Reform touches on the topics of public health service, disease prevention and wellness promotion, as well as healthcare fund management. The core principle of the report emphasizes empowering local communities to be self-sufficient in providing comprehensive healthcare for residents. This also includes the use of traditional Thai medicine, alternative care, and the strengthening of local communities in tackling local health problems. The report proposes the setting up of a data center to better inform the public of healthcare costs and a committee for strengthening self-sufficiency at the local level in providing healthcare services for its residents. These two proposals would reduce social inequality by making healthcare more accessible. NRC members concurred with the report and added that local practitioners should be given adequate support and resources, while traditional Thai medicine should be utilized and improved upon. Deputy Prime Minister for Economic Affairs, Mom Ratchawong Pridiyathorn Thewakul, has assured that Thailand is not the only country being faced with the current drop in exports and believes a GDP growth of 3% will be seen this year. After Thai exports were reported to be on a steady decline, Mom Ratchawong Pridiyathorn has explained that the contraction is a result of the decreases in the prices of oil, precious metals and agricultural products in the world market. Therefore, he pointed out that the current export slump is not being witnessed only in Thailand, but also in many other countries, including Russia, Japan, Singapore and Malaysia. To cope with a fragile economy, the Deputy Premier said the government has already prepared several measures, one of which is the opening of new export markets. A target has also been set to boost rice exports to 10 million tons per year, which, if achieved, would earn Thailand the title of top rice exporter in the world. Meanwhile, revenue from the booming tourism sector is expected to take up 28% of the annual GDP, compensating for the shrinkage in export revenue, while over 1,200 investment projects have been approved in the past 6 months, signifying investors' confidence in the Thai economy. And in the view of the Finance Ministry, it has officially lowered this year's economic growth estimate as a result of global economic slowdown. Director General of the Ministry's Fiscal Policy Office, Kun Grisada Dina Wicharana, said the GDP estimate has been revised to 3% from 3.7%, although the tourism sector and the public spending have lent help to the economic recovery, with the growth rates of 36.6% and 10.7% in the first half of this year. Meanwhile, the industrial sector, the agricultural sector, and exports have been contracting, and consumers remain worried about many problems, including the drought crisis. The FPO also expects the exports to contract 4% this year, compared with the 0.2% growth rate it earlier projected, mainly because of the slowing growth in China. The National Broadcasting and Telecommunications Commission has expressed its belief that there is no need for digital TV broadcasters to close down as their viewership continues to grow. NBTC Secretary General Thakon Tansit revealed that the number of viewers of digital TV channels has risen to 1.6 million per minute. Total income from advertisements on all 21 channels is expected to average 197 million baht per month this year, which would be a threefold increase from last year's monthly average of 63 million baht. Mr. Thakon noted that the income of each broadcaster depended on whether the content they provided was interesting and whether they were able to tailor their programming to target viewer groups. According to him, it would be easier for a channel to gain consumer recognition if these conditions were met. Meanwhile, broadcasters have noted a change in consumer behavior, with the majority of viewers only listening to the TV program and no longer paying attention to the images on the TV screen. The broadcasters also noted that the new players in the field would need time to build up their viewership and also income base. 27 water detention basins are to be excavated in 9 provinces along the Chao Phraya River to solve the prevailing drought problem. The project is expected to help reserve over 350 million cubic meters of water to be fetched from rainfalls expected in the month of August. According to the Royal Irrigation Department, the artificial swamps are located in 9 provinces, namely in Nakhon Sawan, Chainat, Singburi, Ang Thong, Uthai Thani, Lopburi, Saraburi, Ayutthaya and Nonthaburi, in compliance with the Prime Minister's urgent policy to solve droughts. By far, 21% of the construction has already been completed. Other ponds being dredged at 8 tributaries are Nong Ta Mek Swamp, Nong Bon, Nong Sarai, Bung Krachap Yai, Bung Lahan, Sa Khao Ka, Sa Nong Chok, and the Khao Khwa Public Pond for Irrigation, or the Sa Satharana Klong Song Nam Kao Khwa, expected to reserve 193,400 cubic meters of water when completed. The Director General of the Royal Irrigation Department, Ledvirod Kowatana, said during his field trip to Bung Lahan Lake in Chainat Province that an extension is being held on the lake as the drought has made the lake shallow, causing difficulty for farmers to pump up the water. And today we have a special report from NBT World's correspondent Panot Sinsap about the solar cell panels which can harness clean energy and also save the user a lot of money over the long run. Here's a look at the story.
As a country that is close to the equator, Thailand receives a great amount of intense sunlight and days that last about 12 hours. So solar cell technology holds great potential here as a clean and efficient energy source to contribute to the electric power grid. However, despite the fact that this technology has been available for decades, solar panels are not widely popular in Thailand. The main reasons being that there are high initial costs in buying and installing them, and the power generating capacity in the panels in the past wasn't outstanding. But in 2015, solar cell technology has greatly advanced and the electricity generating capacity has increased, while the price tag has remained relatively stable. So taking into account what you get for your money, the overall cost is now half of what it was compared to several years ago. One example for the improved performance is that some solar panels now use new bifacial technology, which means that both the front and back faces of the models are used, and as a result, there has been a 20% increase in the energy output. Solar cells today are more durable, performs better, can handle more extremes of climate, and can actually serve as roofs. A 20 square meter home requires an estimated budget of around 500 to 700,000 baht for the purchase and installation of the solar cell panels, and the payback period may take somewhere between 6 to 15 years, depending on the usage. The solar cells have a lifetime of around 25 years, so buyers will get an estimated 10 years or more of clean and free electricity before the panels deteriorate. The government supports citizens who wish to install solar cell panels at their homes or businesses in order to comply with the government's policy to reduce power generation from the country's major power plants running on natural gas. One way that Thailand is supporting renewable energy is through programs such as the government's solar PV rooftop project, in which citizens who choose to invest in solar panels may sell their excess supply of the electricity generated to the Metropolitan Electricity Authority at 5 to 6 baht per unit. For several years now, the programs have helped generate renewable energy for the nation.
We will continue to support renewable energy and will try to reduce power generation from natural gas to less than 40% of the total main power production. However, 60% of the overall total power generation in Thailand will still come from the main power generating supplies like coal and natural gas. The other 40% will come from renewable energy such as hydropower, wind power, solar energy, and biomass.
As technology further advances, solar cells, windmills, and other renewable alternatives are expected to power more households and businesses as we evolve into a cleaner and greener society in the future. I'm Bernard Season-Sap for NBT World, Bangkok.
And that's it for today's edition of Thailand Moves Forward. Up next, Thailand signed an MOU with Singapore in order to develop specialists in ASEAN qualifications reference framework. Stay with us.
To maintain a strong nation, Thailand is promoting 12 core values for the good of the people. The fourth core value: seeking direct and indirect knowledge and education.
How could you do that to me? Stop it! Huh? Don't you get it? I don't need you anymore. Enough! We're through. There's someone else in my life.
Say no to the past. Bring your own bag. Say no to plastic.
Swadee krab, this is Thailand at large.
The show which is about to take you to the new experiences with the exciting stories.
With charming fascination.
with a touch of Thainess.
Let's join us on NBT World.
Explore with us and you'll know and love Thailand even more than before.
Welcome back. You're watching Newsline, now ASEAN and beyond. The Department of Skill Development has signed a memorandum of understanding with Singapore Polytechnic International for a project to develop specialists in ASEAN Qualifications Reference Framework, or AQRF. Nakorn Silapa Acha, Permanent Secretary to the Ministry of Labour, presided over the MOU signing, paving the way for the development of personnel of the Department of Skill Development, Thailand Professional Qualification Institute, Office of the Education Council, Office of the Vocational Education Commission, and Office of the Higher Education Commission. Under the program, the said personnel will be trained to become proficient in referencing worker skills in accordance with Thailand's National Qualifications Framework as well as ASEAN Qualifications Reference Framework. According to Mr. Nakorn, his capability will contribute to the mobility of skilled workers after the ASEAN Economic Community comes into effect at the end of the year. The collaboration between the Department of Skill Development and SPI will be undertaken during 2015 and 2018. In other news, Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak sacked his deputy and 4 other ministers in a cabinet reshuffle on Tuesday and replaced the Attorney General in a bid to stifle questions over a graft scandal at debt-laden state investment fund, that is 1MDB. Deputy Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin was dropped days after he publicly called on Najib to explain the scandal engulfing One Malaysia Development Berhad, which has debts of more than $11 billion and is being investigated for financial mismanagement and graft. The allegations of extensive graft are the biggest threat to Najib's credibility since he took office in 2009 and could even threaten the grip his United Malays National Organisation, or UMNO party, has kept on Malaysian politics since independence in 1957. This month, the Wall Street Journal reported that investigators looking into 1MDB had traced close to $700 million of deposits into personal accounts belonging to Najib. Najib has denied taking any money for personal gain, saying the corruption allegations are part of a malicious campaign to force him from office. 1MDB has denied transferring funds to Najib, and an interim government report has found nothing suspicious. And that's it for today's edition of Newsline. We thank you very much for joining us this morning. And of course, we'll leave you our email address, newsline.nbt@gmail.com, which is appearing on your screen now. If you do have any suggestions, please feel free to write to us. And we are going to say goodbye this morning, taking you to Uthai Thani province, where the candle procession is going to be held, marking the start of the Buddhist Lent in that province. I'm Chalapan Sanarula. Thank you very much for spending part of your day with us. Swadee ka.